Well, it's the moment of truth for Apple. The tech giant is set to report earnings after the closing bell today. And joining us now to break down what to watch for when Apple reports and what to expect is Angelo Zino, Senior Industry Analyst at S&P Capital IQ. Angelo, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So in your most recent research note, you point out that iPhones recently represented 69% of Apple's revenue. It's still bread and butter for Apple. How did the larger screen iPhone 6 and 6 Plus impact sales this quarter? What are you expecting?
Yeah, I mean, we still think iPhone sales did very well here in the current quarter. Looking at 52 million in total iPhone sales, which would, modestly above what the consensus is looking at in the high 40 million range. Overall, the momentum continues for the larger screen phones. We think you continue to see easy comparables, and that strong demand out of China really, we think is ongoing, where north of 50% of their total growth is coming out of China. So it's still very important.
And I really want to dig into the China discussion a little bit more, but first, let's talk about the Apple Watch, because it seems just about every write-up ahead of these earnings is focused on Apple Watch sales. This is the big thing. Even though iPhones are still bread and butter for Apple, the watch is really what folks are focusing on right now. So we've seen that born with a ton of hype, but sales have, and this is based on limited data, sales have probably considerably cooled since that launch we saw a few months ago. Do you think Apple will report sales numbers this afternoon? And what kind of overhang has the watch had on Apple shares?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we don't expect them to break it out, just kind of given the commentary that the company has given here in recent quarters. That said, we do expect Apple Watch sales to probably come in around the 4 million or 5 million range, which overall is a very good quarter. And that takes into account the initial surge that we saw from their early adopters. That being said, I think the run rate here has decelerated significantly. And I think kind of the bigger question mark and answer investors want is how what kind of commentary can they give on a going forward rate for the Apple Watch.
So in light of that, and then I guess in light of the comments you made about China before, what do you think is Apple's biggest headwind? Also, what do you think could be the biggest upside surprise?
Yeah, so kind of looking at some of the challenges ahead for Apple. I mean, clearly, they've done absolutely phenomenal here over the last year. However, that may bite them as we start heading into the December quarter, as the comps get a lot more challenging, and that's really kind of the biggest obstacle for them. Clearly, the Apple Watch. Expectations are that you're going to see an acceleration in orders in the December quarter. So that could be a concern, I think, for investors out there. And then also, China, which represented about 57% growth for the company in the March quarter. Whether or not that momentum can continue will also be, a major, kind of topic on the mind of investors here.
And in light of all this, what's your 12-month price target and what's your rating on Apple shares as we head into these earnings? So
we have a hold recommendation on the shares. Our 12-month target price is $150. Overall, that's based on a P of about 15.3 times our 2016 fiscal year estimates. Overall, we remain optimistic on the longer-term trends of Apple. It's just kind of the near-term immediate concerns, that we would watch out for.
Great. Angelo Zino, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Cramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.